Hello there everybody, it is me Alexa and welcome to our first monthly video of 2021. So, this is extremely late. I think we gotta start off with that. Very sorry. This is my third attempt to film it. The first attempt had issues with footage, second attempt had issues with audio, both of which I tried to fix through editing, neither of which worked out. So here we are recording it for the third time. Hopefully third time's the charm. Before we jump into anything though, I want to give a huge thank you to our 5 meters deep patrons, Tarun and Anonymous. Y'all are absolutely amazing. So are all of our other patrons and all of our followers and subscribers across all of our channels. I mean, all of you guys are amazing. The amount of growth we had in GW&CO last year was spectacular, and I cannot wait to see what 2021 brings along. It's so awesome. There are going to be some changes to this monthly video from what we're used to, from when it used to be called Alexa Talks over on my GW International channel. The biggest difference is that it will no longer have a main topic. It's just gonna be me talking about the previous month in review and what's coming out this upcoming month. I'm gonna be talking about the whole month of January, even though it's like halfway over now. But besides getting rid of the main topic and obviously some difference in the background and editing, it's going to be close to the same video. I'm gonna be discussing a few more variety of things, because before I mainly just talked about movies, but now we're also going to talk more about games and TV shows, maybe some books if I finish any that month. So there's going to be a bit more variety in what I talk about in the different little subsections, which will all kind of remain the same, just no main topic anymore. The reason for that is now, like, what would normally be the main topic in this, I'm going to make their own videos. Like for this one, I was planning on doing a 2020 year in review, but then I decided that would be a better, probably its own video, so that's what I'm going to do. So that's all that's new with this. Let's talk about December. So it was the final month of 2020. We're all very happy about that. We're in 2021. It's off to a little bit of a rocky start in the US, but you know, it's all right. We're moving forward. We're getting there. We're so close. He's so close to being gone. I'm so excited. So excited. All right, but what happened in December? So December in review, let's talk about our channels. So for GW&CO, we had a whole bunch of growth in December on all of our channels, which is always so exciting. We hit 47,700 subscribers over on GW International, which is absolutely incredible. We didn't quite hit the goal of 50,000 by the end of 2020, but that's completely all right. We still gained over 2,000 new subs, which is absolutely incredible, and the growth is always astounding, and especially this month. The February update, we're going to be talking a lot about January. January's been a good month so far, but that's for next month's update. And then over on my Alexa Plays channel, I gained over 25 subs there and reached 216 subscribers by the end of December. So very exciting, crossed over that 200 sub milestone, and excited to continue growing over there. And then Sri blew way past his goal of 50 subs by the end of 2020 by gaining 22 more ones during December and hitting 77 subscribers. So absolutely incredible. We are having so much fun with both those gameplay channels, and I have so many more videos coming out, and I know he does too, so make sure to head on over and hit subscribe to both those channels if you like gaming. And while you're at it, also make sure to check out our Twitch, which in December we gained 8 subscribers on, reaching 37 total followers. Very exciting. We both have a lot of fun going live over there, playing gameplays and also being able to chat with some of you guys in the chat, so make sure to come on over so that you can talk to us while we're playing some video games. Now, the final thing in this numbers category is we wrote 15 new articles over on our website, GW&CO, bringing up our total to 109 articles in 2020. So that's really awesome. We're so excited. Hopefully we'll reach even more this year. We have so many ideas for different articles coming out, as well as content across all of our channels. We are so excited. Hopefully 2021 should be a really good year. We have lots of big ideas, and we're hoping to be able to implement at least some of them during 2021. So make sure to head on over and subscribe to all those channels and check them out so you can be notified whenever we post all of our new stuff. All right, now on to movies I watched, TV shows I watched, games I played, and books I read in December. So, of course, we want to start off with those favorite movies that I watched in December. A lot of new movies came out, and that's mostly what I'm going to be talking about. But before I do that, I want to just briefly mention an older movie that I watched for the first time in December, Slumdog Millionaire. So, I know. How have I not seen that movie before? I don't know, but I hadn't. But I've corrected it. I've seen it now, and I did really enjoy it. I see why A.R. Rahman won that Oscar for the music in it, and it was just a really engaging and cool story. I loved the way that they told the story by jumping through different like times and using his history. I mean, it was just all so well woven together to create a really engaging movie, and I see why it did so well, why so many people talk about it. Now on to the movies that came out in December. So the first one that I watched was, of course, Tenet. Oh, I was so excited. I'm a big Nolan fan, as I told you guys, so this movie was absolutely great. It's one of my favorites for the year, and I enjoyed it just so much. I watched it twice already, and I do want to watch it a third time. It's one of the movies that you have to watch at least twice because of how, you know, it plays with time and everything in order to fully get all the smaller details and things. Oh, wait, that lines up together and stuff like that. You really have to watch it at least twice. Though I'd recommend probably watching it more, and I'm gonna definitely watch it more. There's so many different little details and other things that you may not even notice in a second watch through that are just so cool. And then next, and this movie wasn't necessarily a surprise because I knew I was gonna like it, but I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. It was Pixar's newest movie, Soul, and I am a big fan of Pixar, so I was going in expecting I'm gonna like the movie. But I was just blown away by how beautiful all the artwork in it was, as well as the story. I love Pixar so much because of the way that they're able to take these really like deep topics. Like this one discusses literally death in a children's movie, and they do it in a way that is comprehensible for children while also having even more like deeper messages that would resonate more with older people, you know, that kind of go over their little kids' heads as they're watching it. And so it's just such a beautiful story told so well. For the platform that they're using, which is of course a movie made for kids but also made for adults. And the way Pixar is able to balance that always impresses me, and I love Pixar movies. And anyone who doesn't watch Pixar movies because they're kids movies needs to get over themselves and watch Pixar movies because they're amazing. Now the final movie I'm going to talk about, I normally don't talk about disappointments. I normally only talk about my favorite movies, but I gotta talk about this because it was a big disappointment, and that is, I think you probably guessed it, Wonder Woman 1984. So I was really excited for this. As you guys may know if you saw my trailer reactions over on GW International, I was really looking forward to this movie. I was a big fan of the 2017 Wonder Woman. I love Gal Gadot. I think Patty Jenkins is very talented, but this movie just... To summarize the disappointment of it, it tried for too much and ended up feeling just half-baked. You know, it just wasn't developed enough. There was a lot of characters that felt like they needed more, and etc. And there's also a few smaller problematic things that we could go into more detail with, like the whole, you know, Chris Pine's character, his body, that sort of stuff. I had the thought while I was watching it, and I was like, that's a little, like, concerning, but, you know, it's okay. They glossed over it in the movie. Like, no one even mentioned it. Like, if someone had at least mentioned it, it would be better, but, like, no one even mentioned it. And I feel like that was probably something that maybe got cut because of the studio or something trying to have time limits. Because it's a big issue with a lot of these DC movies is the studio keeps making them cut it shorter for time, and then it ends up losing what it needs to be a full story. Like Batman vs. Superman, the theatrical cut is not enjoyable because it cuts out everything that explains half of what happened. And so then you watch the Ultimate Edition and you're like, wow, this is a really good movie. That makes total sense. So that's really the biggest fault I feel with the DC movies at this point. I was hoping it'd be better because of course they're finally releasing the Justice League Snyder cut. There's talks of the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad coming out because it exists. And so hopefully if Snyder cut does well, that'll come out. And so I thought they were doing better of being like, oh, let's listen to our directors, let's let them have a bit more freedom, because they know what they're doing. But it seems that Wonder Woman 1984 proved that they were not taking the steps in the right direction. They just gave in to fan pressure, I feel like. And it wasn't like the worst movie ever, definitely, but it was very forgettable. And it's unlike the first one, which I thought was really great, and I love it. Like, I think about it, you know, it's a good movie. But this one, like, it's already like, I don't really care about it that much anymore because it was just disappointing. All right, so now on to games. So in December, I played a few games. One of my favorites that I played was Call of the Sea. It's this really great adventure game. It's like first person, you explore this island where you're trying to find your husband, and it is so well done. The story is absolutely beautiful. I have a thorough review of it over on the site, so I won't go into too much talking about it here, because if you want to hear those thoughts, you can go read them there. But I loved it. I did a whole gameplay on the channel and my Alexa Plays channel, and it was so much fun. It's a beautiful story. Even if you don't want to go and play it necessarily, I would recommend like watching someone play it. Doesn't even have to be me, just because I love the story of it so much, and I would recommend playing it because it's always better, because then you get to like experience the story alongside Nora, the character you play as. But even watching it I think would be a really fun experience, so definitely check that game out if you haven't heard about it. Also in December, I played Fortnite for the first time. I know I'm a little late to the party, but I see why it's so like big. It's really fun. I mean, with chasing after the wins and like all the cool different skins you can get and the little quests that you can do, it's really addicting and really fun. I've put a lot of hours into it, a little too many, and I'm sure I'm gonna be putting in a whole bunch more, but I really do enjoy the game. For TV shows, I watched a few things, but most notably, I watched the show Sharp Objects, starring Amy Adams, based on a book of the same name written by Gillian Flynn, who also wrote Gone Girl, and I want to read the book, but the show was really cool. I loved how it developed. The ending was a little, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, it was a little, open-ended, there's the way to word it, a little bit more open-ended than I wanted it to be, but they did it in such a way that it was really effective and it worked with the story, so I'm not like disappointed at it, but I also want more because it was such a good story and I want to see like what exactly happens next, you know, but it was done really well, so it's no complaints, but it just, honestly, it's a commentary on how well it was done that I just want more. But yeah, it was a really good story. It kept you guessing throughout it. It's like a mystery. It's a very dark mystery drama, I'd say, is like the way to describe it. And Amy Adams did a spectacular job, so did everyone else in the cast, and it's definitely worth a watch. And finally, books I read. So I finished reading the first book in the Mage Errant series. It's called Into the Labyrinth. It's these really little quick books. They're only little, it was a little over 200 pages, the first book, and I'm reading the second one now, which is also roughly the same length. But the first one, it was really enjoyable. If you like the Harry Potter series, I would definitely recommend it. It is also at a magic school. We're following a character named Hugh of Emblyn, who is 16 in the first book, as he kind of just goes through his schooling life. A whole bunch of stuff happens. I don't want to give anything away. I feel like it's better if you don't know anything and just kind of go into it. So that's kind of what I did, and I ended up really enjoying it. So I definitely recommend checking it out. I'm on to the second book now. So far, it's really good, but I'm only in chapter 3, so I can't confirm how good the rest of the books are, but based on reviews, it seems like they are just as good as the first. So I'm looking forward to finish. It's a 4-book series in total, so I'm looking forward to finishing that over the next couple months. All right, that's enough about 2020 in this video. Let's talk about what's coming out in January of 2021. There aren't too much coming out in the world of Hollywood movies, but there's quite a lot of Indian films coming out this Sankranti. I'm only gonna list a couple. There's Red, Crack, Master, whole bunch. Aranya's coming out. I mean, there's a whole bunch of movies coming out this Sankranti. South Indian especially, they're really just saying, here's all those movies that were supposed to come out 2020. They seem to all be getting a theatrical release, so I don't think I'm going to be able to watch them right away, but I'm hoping that they will soon be able to be available on video on demand somewhere for me to be able to stream it and watch the movies, because I'm really excited for some of them. Especially Master, I've watched like all the songs and stuff, and I really want to see that. Crack did just come out, and I've heard that it's apparently a hit. And I like Ravi Tejal a lot, so I was looking forward to it. So I'm excited to see. We'll have to wait and find out how good all of them are, but I hope I can watch them fairly soon. There's also some cool new TV shows coming out. On January 13th, there is a show called Night Stalker: The Hunt for a Serial Killer, about a serial killer named Night Stalker, coming out on Netflix. And I find learning about serial killers really fascinating. How to say that without sounding creepy is really difficult. I find like true crime really is like I find really fascinating. It doesn't necessarily have to be murderers and serial killers. So if you also are a fan of serial killers, I shouldn't word it like that. So if you're also a fan of true crime and like learning about serial killers of the past, there's this docu-series coming out on Netflix called Night Stalker that I would recommend based on what I've heard about so far. It hasn't come out yet, so I don't know exactly how good it is, but it sounds very fascinating. Also though, on Disney Plus, the show WandaVision's finally coming out. I've been looking forward to this. I've reacted to the trailers for it, and I am just really excited to watch this. I think that it's going to be a really fun and cool show, and it's also the first of the many Marvel shows that we're going to be getting this year. I may do some videos about the different episodes, so let me know if you have any interest in seeing that, because I'm debating doing like reviews, you know, like episode reviews every week. I think that might be fun, so let me know if you guys would want me to do that. There's not many games coming out in January, but one that Sri's excited for is called The Medium. It's come from the Bloober team, which did the game Observer System Redux that Sri played back in November. They're kind of like horror games, and he really loved Observer System Redux, so it was a very cool concept, so he's excited to see what this next one's all about. I'm not the biggest fan of horror games. I can watch horror movies because I can disassociate, but when you're sitting there with the controller and you have to choose to walk forward towards where you know the scary thing is, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm too much of a wimp. It doesn't work. I can't do it. But if you like those kind of games, then I definitely recommend checking it out. It comes out on January 28th, so it looks pretty cool if you like that kind of game. So next up, this is where we normally have the main topic, but we are skipping that and heading straight to our Q&A. So, some facts about the Q&A. Firstly is our patrons over on Patreon do have priority in questions, so if you want to have that, make sure to head on over there. But I also do answer questions from YouTube, so I'm going to have a pinned comment down below and write your questions in reply to that, and I will make sure to try and answer them in these future monthly updates. So the first question was asking us about whenever we first started the channel, what were like some obstacles or problems that we faced. This was asked over on the GW International channel, so that's the one I'm going to be answering for, not this new channel. But so over there at the start, I mean, obviously there's a lot of the normal problems. We had a lot of blocked videos, as is common with reaction ones. If you know that if you watch any reaction videos, there's always issues with blocking. And then, of course, the biggest thing is kind of just adapting to the audience. Like, the whole goal for GW&CO in general is creating discussion around film and games. Something that me and Sri, the channel's co-founder, are extremely passionate about. And that is always, like, something that we have to keep true to. So for me, the biggest struggle was mentally. Trying to balance keeping our goal of just creating discussion around, like, film and music from around the world, as well as balancing audience expectations, and also not allowing that to control everything, while also it still being an influence on it, because you want to, you know, meet what the audience wants while also staying true to what you are. So it's like finding that balance there can be a bit difficult at times. And so that, I'd say, is the biggest one, is just mentally being able to process what the audience wants while staying true to the goal that you have, and that is the most important thing. Well, yes, you have to adapt to the audience, you know, especially if you want to continue to grow, you know, you have to be aware of what audience wants, but the most important thing is staying true to why you started that channel and being true to why you keep making videos on that channel, and make sure that you are always aware of that. Because once you lose sight of that, and like you just kind of, if I'm just making videos just for views and for audience, you know, then the video will just go down in quality. Because that's one thing, is I always want to make sure that I have good discussions in my videos where I feel confident in it going up and I feel good about that video going up. And that is always something that I want to make sure, because I don't want to, like, I could just react to everything, post like for a day, barely edit it, you know what I mean, and just kind of put up videos, but instead I've limited myself to one a day. I miss some days. And then I can just ensure to make sure that those videos that I do put up are better quality. And that is kind of always the goal, because that's something that's important to me. And that's why I started the channel, and that's what I want to keep doing. Because if I just start doing like 2 videos a day and then they go lower in quality because I'm just doing them fast, busting them out, like I'm not saying as good stuff about the videos, you know, etc., then I feel like I would definitely, I mean, I would get bored of the channel eventually if I did that, like, because it's not engaging for me if I'm not putting forth effort and like actually analyzing the videos and having fun with it. Then I'd get bored in the future, and then the audience would probably get bored too, and it'd just be no fun making videos anymore for either of us, and we don't want that. So it really is just about finding that balance for you. And every person, how that'll work is different. Every channel, how it'll work is different. You know, depends on the audience, depends on the person, depends on the videos, so many different factors, but just making sure that you're balancing audience expectations and what you want out of the channel is what I think is the most important thing, and also can be a challenging thing. but just always making sure to focus on that and keep that as your main goal. The best advice that I can give to anyone starting up a new channel, no matter what kind of content you're making. Other question is someone asked about my pets. So the best way to answer this, I think, is to go and grab them all. I got 3 total, 2 cats and a dog. So I'm gonna go try and find them. Whatever order I present them in is the order that I find them. So be right back while I go get them. So first up for my pets, we have my little baby, Ash. He is 2 years old, turns 3 this year. Just wait 1 second, I'll put you down in a second. Normally he's a big cuddle bug, but he doesn't want it right now. Of course he doesn't, because I need to hold him. He'll come up whenever I'm busy doing stuff, then he'll want cuddles. He has 3 legs, as you can see. We actually found him on the side of the road. My parents did, rather. And yeah, he had a broken leg, which ended up having to be amputated by, he ran away now, and but he doesn't care at all. He was very young when we found him, only a couple weeks old. We aren't sure the exact age because he was very malnourished, so it was hard to tell by, normally they kind of judge their age by their weight as kittens, and so it was hard to tell because he was like really skinny and like tiny. He was like 2 pounds when we first found him. He was the cutest little baby. I'll put a little photo of him as a wee little lad on the screen, but he is absolutely adorable. I love him the most. He constantly comes and cuddles in my lap while I'm editing videos, and he is just a total little love bug. So yeah, that is Ash, my 3-year-old cat. Now let's go and find my other 2 pets. Next up, we have the chonker. Milo. He's a big boy, slightly bigger than Ash. He doesn't like being held very much, but he's a sweetie, so he doesn't get too angry, but no, he wants to go. Okay. Bye, Milo. He's actually lost weight, if you can believe it or not. He used to be like about 20 pounds, and now he is only 13 pounds, so he's on a diet still. He's still losing more weight. He's not the happiest about it, but he's getting healthier. He is 9 years old, turning 10 this year. We also got him quite young. So I'll put a little picture of him as a kitten. He was the teeniest little kitten whenever we got him 10 years ago now, almost. He's not as cuddly as Ash is, but he loves to play. He'll walk around the house with like his toys in his mouth and just meowing, which is really cute. Sometimes annoying, like when I'm trying to watch a movie or record or something like that. But it's also extremely cute, so I don't mind too much. On to the final pet, the oldest one too. Worked out, I found them all in age order. Final one is my little old man, Jack. He is 13, turns 14 in June. Hey, Boopy. He's a good boy. He'll just sit on my lap. He doesn't like being held. He's a very stressful boy, has been his whole life. We got him at a couple months old. Do you want to go down? You want to sit up here? Or are you just standing? He's a little mutt. We don't really know exactly what breeds he is. We found him at a shelter who told us he was no shed, and he's not no shed. That's for sure. Yeah. But he's a very sweet old man. He's a little bit of a jerk to the cat sometimes because he's a little selfish, doesn't want them touching his toys. And they want to touch his toys. But besides that, he's a very well-behaved old man, aren't you? Getting a little grumpy. He's starting to go deaf a little, which is good because he's really scared of things. But like now fireworks, he can't hear them anymore, so he's not scared of them anymore. Isn't that right? But yeah, he's a sweet old man. He's so shedding. There's just like furs hoofing off of him. Our little no-shed dog. Look at this. Nonsense. It's like snowing in here. So he's the easiest one, obviously. The cats are, you know, cats are always more independent. They want to be pet when they want to be pet. But meanwhile, he wants to be played with always, yes. You want to just hang out? We can hang out. You want to tell them what we have coming up in January? No, you want to go down. All right, he's licking his lips in anxiety. I'm going to put him out. Wait, yeah, I love you so much. All right, so now let's go on to January updates. So, what's going on in January, guys? Firstly, we had this new channel. Pretty dang cool. I also am going to be trying to put these videos up on the 1st of each month. Obviously, I failed at this one. My first attempt at recording this would have been up on the 1st, but sadly that didn't work out. So now here we are, a little bit after the 1st, just a little lot. But I want to do my best to try and be close to the 1st. By the 3rd, I want to have it up every month is going to be my goal from here on out. And I think I figured out all the issues that I had with the first 2 times recording, with changing stuff around, where there shouldn't be issues in the future that where it's not a technical issue is the reason that I'm having to postpone and do a later date like it was for this month. We also revamped our GW&CO channel, a link to that in the description. We have one video on there and we're hoping to make more in 2021. We deleted the old channel because we wanted to kind of revamp it, do different kinds of videos, so we just deleted it, restarted. We got new colors up for 2021, no longer purple over there, it's now navy and orange. And yeah, so we have a whole bunch coming out for GW&CO website and channel this year that we're very excited about. And then also, of course, we have our gameplay channels, me and Sri. I'm going to be trying to go live on Twitch more playing games, which will then result in more videos on the gameplay channel from my archives. So hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more there. Sri also wants to try and start making some more videos on his channel, so we're looking forward to doing that. My goal for Alexa Plays is to have one video every weekday on the channel, but I'm a little bit behind right now with live streaming, so once I can start a regular live streaming schedule, that'll be no issue, but it's just getting a regular live streaming schedule down first, and then I can do that. So hopefully I'll have that figured out by the end of January. And then also, of course, there's this new channel. This is probably the one that I'm most excited about. I'm only doing weekly videos on it as well as this monthly video, but that's like a separate thing. But there's gonna be weekly regular content videos where I do stuff where I just talk about what's going on in my life, talk about stuff with movies, talk about stuff with games, you know, whatever I want to talk about, as well as some arts and crafts videos, maybe some baking in the future, I'm hoping, and any other ideas that I have or you guys have, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really open. This kind of channel I can just kind of do whatever I want. That is all I have for our first monthly update of 2021. It's crazy we made it all the way here. I'm so excited for this year to come. I think that it's going to be full of amazing positive things, and I'm really excited, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I hope you all are staying safe out there and have an absolutely amazing year, guys. Bye!